Hey you guys, it's me, Chris Kelly. I am an independent stamp demonstrator in Rochester Hills, Michigan. And I'm going to share some exciting things with you today. Normally Wednesdays are the days I come on at 10 o'clock and share some stamping time with you. And I was in the process of getting a new phone and getting it hooked up yesterday, and well, actually Monday and Tuesday and yesterday. And today I am up and running, so here I am. I hope you can pop on and join me. We're going to actually be making some Christmas cards today, but I wanted to share with you some exciting stuff. Our new mini catalog, right? How fun is that? Everybody loves a new catalog. And this one is available to customers beginning in January. It is available to demonstrators right now. I was at an event in Indianapolis this past weekend with some of my downline. We had an amazing time, and as one of the perks of being at the event, we got our catalog early, and we also got to place a premiere order early also. And then along with that comes this little gem, Celebration. Celebration is a yearly feature. Last year we had it twice. We did a summer celebration and a winter celebration. This year we are only doing a winter celebration, and it's only going to be January 5th through February 28th. So it is a shortened period of time, and when you place a minimum $50 order, you'll get free merchandise, or a minimum $100 order, you'll get free merchandise. And there's also a little sign-up special in here too. So lots of exciting things coming. If you don't normally get a catalog from me and would like one, just leave a comment below. Anybody that has placed a minimum $50 order with me in the past 6 months, I will mail these to you for free. And we are going to be doing a catalog launch with these two catalogs. So be sure and mark your calendar for January 14th. It's a Saturday from 1 to 4. This is a catalog launch that I am doing with my downline. Spots are limited, so you do want to sign up early. It is $60 if you sign up before the end of November. There is an early bird special, so it would only be $55. And for all of our team members, you get an additional $5 discount. So if you are a Rubber Room Rambler and you sign up before the end of November, your cost would only be $50. You will get a goodie bag to use during the day, and it will have $20 to $25 worth of product in it. We will be focusing on 8 different stamp sets and or coordinating celebration items. So you're going to get a great variety of cards. And don't forget about our sale that's going on. Right now we are having our seasonal sale, which is amazing. Everything in the annual catalog is on sale, except for hostess items. And it is, all punches are 10% off, all stamp sets are 15% off, all dies are 20% off, all embossing folders are 20% off, and all non-specialty and non-assortment designer series paper is 20% off. So that excludes the assortment papers, which are going to be the in colors or the the bright colors, the regal colors. So anything that comes in a pack that's an assortment is not going to be on sale. And any specialty paper, that's going to be your foil papers, your textured papers, those are not on sale. And if you sign up, you normally get pay $99 and get $129 worth of merchandise. Well, if you sign up now, you can pick merchandise that is on sale. So that is a tremendous increase in savings, and it brings huge value to your $99 starter kit. Plus, Stampin' Up! Does let its demonstrators double dip. So if you signed up today, then tomorrow you could place your order and get your demonstrator discount as well as the sale prices. So if you're interested in that, that is definitely your best deal right now and the way to make the most of those savings. And the sale does end on the 18th, which is tomorrow. So you do want to get your orders in. Okay, let's get started. I'm going to share with you today my Christmas club from a couple weeks ago. And we have one more Christmas club left. So I'm excited about that. I was going to sort these pictures. Our next Christmas club, these kits. Our next Christmas club is going to be December 2nd. And it is going to be bags and tags and gift packaging, gift card holders, all of that fun stuff. I'm just going to sort out my kits here so I have some semblance of organization. I'm telling you, coming back from on stage, it was just an amazing time. We drove through some snow on our way back. It was just kind of a wonderful time. We got to scrape ice and snow off our windshield in the morning, but we rented a house. There were 4 of us that were able to go. A couple had to cancel at the last minute, so we did have to go without them, but that was okay. We brought their goodies back to them, and so it was all good. It worked out in the end. So when you come to Christmas Club, you get, you make 3 each of 5 cards. So I have this little packet here, and so these are all the materials that came in your kit, and you also got, oh gosh, dots and twine, and that was the product that came with it, and I did not grab dots and twine, so hang on for just a second because I do want to use those. I thought I had put them in these baskets, but sometimes I clean up and I clean up really good and can't find anything. So, okay, here's twine. Okay. It might take me a few days to get back to my normal self here. The phone issue really took me out, but I have my, what you got were classic matte dots and a package of the linen thread, okay? So we are going to start off with a piece of Evening Evergreen cardstock, 8.5 by 5.5, scored on the 8.5 inch side at 4 1/4. Just gonna fold on my score line and burnish it with my bone folder. And then you have a piece of basic white that is 5 1/4 by 4. And I'm just gonna put some Stampin' Seal on there. Looks like I might be running out of that. Let's try that. There we go. Okay. So I'm just going to center that on the inside. When you come to class, this one is 5 by 3 3/4. So when you come to class, if you have a dark cardstock that's your base, you do get that light piece of cardstock to put on the inside of your card. And then I am going to, we used the tree lot dies for this one, so I'm going to take some Evening Evergreen and stamp my sentiment on this die cut. And this is the die that coordinates with the Christmas lot stamp set. I love the coordinating dies because your words just fit perfectly in there. That one looks like it might be a little towards the top. I'm going to bring it down just a little bit. I might have to stand up for this one. Okay, let's try there. There we go, much better. All right, and for this card, I'm going to move these pieces out of the way. And we are going to be stamping right on our designer series paper. Okay, so we're going to take these two-step stamps and we're going to take the larger images from there and we're going to stamp off or do a second generation stamp. Okay, so I'm just going to ink it up and I'm going to stamp on my scrap paper. And then, oops, I don't like that one at all. Let me. Let's see, I might have a little bit of a dry ink pad there. Okay, we'll try that. That really is messy on the inside. Let's try it one more time and then I will ink it if I need to. Yep, I do need to. A dry ink pad is not going to make me very happy. So let's just put some ink on there. And I'm just going to put little droplets on there. And then take the side of my bottle and kind of smooth it out, or the tip of my bottle. All right. And let's see if that's better. Oh, it is already. I can feel it. Okay, so we are going to make this our second generation, and I'm just going to kind of random stamp these up towards the top a little because I do want to put my sentiment down here. And I'm just going to kind of up and down. And then we're going to bring in these other sizes, and we're going to do the same thing. This is going to be a second generation. And you can go right over your other one. It's not going to matter at all. And then I'm going to bring in the third one, which is going to be the smallest one. And by going up and down with them, it's going to give that kind of dimensional look to it. So it looks like the trees are kind of fading into the background a little bit. I think I'll come back with this medium size one over here. And if you forget to stamp off, it will still be okay. It's not like a game changer or anything like that. And then you have these three that are going to be the insides of the trees. And they're sized to fit all three different sizes of trees. So I'm just going to, this is going to be the first generation. So it's going to give it that really dark look, sort of for the inside of your tree. I'm going to take this top one back out because I want to put it on the inside of the card. So I'm going to put the medium one right in the middle of these medium trees. And you have a lot of room, kind of wiggle room, I call it, in there. If you don't stamp on your designer series paper, you are really missing out. It's a really cool way to get a background effect, and you don't have to do any layering or die cutting or anything like that. So that is kind of a fun thing. Oh, I closed up my ink pad. My brain is really not connected here today. I just got those stamps out, left them out so I could stamp this tree on the inside and then closed them up. Okay, so again, I'm just stamping off with the first one, and then I'm giving it a first generation with the second one. So that's going to be the inside of our card. Okay, and then I'm going to take this twine and we're going to make a bow with it. I actually kind of do faux bows most of the time, and they're not really faux bows. Hi, Cindy. Good morning. I'm glad you're here with me. Can you remind me of a really foggy moment? It's so beautiful. Oh, yeah, it does, doesn't it? That second generation definitely does do that. I am in Michigan. I live in Michigan, and it's Rochester Hills, so sort of down by the Detroit area of Michigan. I was hoping I would get to meet you when I was in Indy this weekend, but that will have to happen on another trip down there. Okay, and we make lots of trips because my brother and sister-in-law are down there. So I am going to take, let's move this out. I'm going to take a piece of twine and just kind of measure it twice across the bottom of my paper and then trim it. Where are my paper snips? Boy, my things are all over the place. We took things to on stage to stamp with, so I'm kind of unpacked and kind of not unpacked. So I'm gonna take my you know what, I'll take my bone folder and put my twine right on top of it, and then put my thumb on top of the twine and just kind of gently pull it through there, and that's gonna help to straighten my twine so I don't get all those little curves. When it's stored like this, you really get all that kind of bouncy little curve to it, and that makes it hard for me to work with. So okay, so I'm going to put this on my card, and I'm going to turn over my designer series paper, just put some stamp and seal on the back of it. If I can get my stamp and seal to work this morning. I thought it was almost out, but there we go. And then I'm going to come in and adhere my twine to the back of this. So I'm going to make sure now that I've turned my card all over the place. I want to get it going in the right direction. So I'm just going to put this on and then adhere it to the back. And you can put glue dots back there if you want to. Or you can just use your regular snail, however you want to do it. Whatever works best for you. You guys all know I am a no-stress stamper. So when you find a way that works best for you, even if it's not the way that I do it, it doesn't mean it's the wrong way. And if it works best for you and you're not stressed doing it, that is a bonus. And to top it off, I am left-handed, so probably nobody should be doing things the way I do them. Okay, and then we're just going to add this to the top of our card, kind of in the center. And you always, before you add that top piece onto your card, you do want to take that little extra peek to make sure it's going in the right direction. Scotch tape works too. That's a perfect idea, Cindy. Okay, and then I'm going to bring in my little Christmas wishes that I stamped, and I'm going to put those on some dimensionals. I don't know if you guys know, but we can order these cases that our stamps come in, and I love to store other things. Like these are the papers, the little glue dots from our paper pumpkins and from our kits. So I just open one of these and throw all of my dimensionals, my little glue dots, all those things I'm saving inside there. And then we have our regular dimensionals. And then, of course, we have these great little mini dimensionals, too. So for this one, I am going to use our regular dimensionals and pop them right on the back of here. I'm going to use 3, one at each end and one in the middle. Our dimensionals are probably the best value in our catalog. So I use a lot of them. I want those images I'm popping up to be really stable. So I'm going to put that about right there. Okay. And then I'm just going to come in with some of these little dots. And I think I'm going to use these gray dots. They have big ones and little ones, and they have white, vanilla, gray, and black. And I kind of like that gray one with it. So I think that's the one I'm going to use. And I'm just going to use my Take Your Pick tool, this little putty end, to see if I can pick some of those up. And there is really like no rhyme or reason to putting these on. I actually think I'm going to use the bigger ones down here. And you could put them on as tree toppers. So you could put them right on the top of your trees. You could do some little tiny sequins and put them on in the middle of your snowflakes that are falling. You can, there's really lots of different ways you can jazz up this card. And I want my word seems to be falling a little bit. So I have a dimensional that I've cut in half. And I'm going to stick that right under the edge on the top. It just seems to be kind of wiggling back and forth. And I don't like that. So I'm just going to kind of tuck it under there. There we go. Okay. Now the only other thing we're going to add to this is my bow. So again, I'm going to take a piece of twine and run it through my bone folder. Just like I did before, to kind of straighten that out. The straighter it is, the easier it is for me to make a bow. And because I used 2 pieces of twine there, I'm going to make a double bow. I think I did a double bow on all of these cards because I love a double bow. And we used all different stamp sets on them too. So that was kind of fun. You get some playful ones, you get some more serious ones. I think we even have kind of a vintage one in here. So we didn't have to stick with one stamp set. Usually for my clubs and classes, I try and focus on one stamp set. But since this is the end of the holiday card making, I figured let's try some different holiday stamp sets. And hopefully you'll have some of them. Okay, I'm going to bring in my glue dots and just put that on. See how that makes kind of like a really nice double 2-layer bow there? I managed to get ink on myself already. Now bring in some of our glue dots. I'm just going to put it right on the back of my bow. And stick my bow down there. Okay, how about that for fun and easy? Take Your Pick tool is a staple in my craft room. I use my Take Your Pick tool all the time, Cindy. In fact, my Take Your Pick tool and my paper snips are the 2 things I use all the time. I have to have probably 3 or 4 because I use them and I lose them. And yeah, they're kind of all over sometimes. Yes, Cindy, we had an amazing time on stage. Anytime I can travel with my team is a great time. And I, of course, got to see my sister-in-law, which was really nice. So we just had a blast. We got to see new products. We got to stamp. It was lots of fun. And hopefully next time you can join us. So this is going to be one that we're making with that cute little Scotty dog punch. Do you guys love that punch? I think that punch is super fun. I'm trying to keep myself a little bit organized here. I don't know how long it'll last, probably only a minute, but okay, so let's get our materials. And we are going to use our Evening Evergreen card base. We have a little bow for our dog. Our Scotty dog is all punched out. I'll put those on the grid paper and you can see them a little bit better. This is a deckled rectangle die that we're going to use for our sentiment. And then we have some Designer Series paper. And we have that white piece for the inside. So, and these are all pretty quick, easy cards to do because when you come to class, you're going to be doing 15 of them. So it's a lot. And that's why we do all of the punching and the die cutting. Everything is done beforehand for you as much as we can. If you have to stamp a sentiment and then die cut it, that we have you do the die cutting here after you've stamped. So again, this is my basic white I have an evening evergreen at 4.25 by 5.5. I'm sorry, it's 5.5 by 8. It's 5.5 by 8.5, and the 8.5-inch side is scored at 4.25. And we are going to fold it on that score line and then burnish it with our bone folder. I'm going to open it up, put our white piece on the inside, and again, this white piece is 5 inches by 3.75 inches, okay? So that's going to go on the inside there. And then we have these 2 pieces of designer series paper that are going to go on just like this. Okay, so this piece is 5.25 by 4, and then the piece here, this piece is 1.5 by 4. Okay, so I'm just going to put this one right on top of the other one. And again, you can use the other sides of the paper if you wanted to do it like that. That would be really pretty too. In fact, I think I might go ahead and do it that way. Let me just, so we'll get 2 different looks from it. You can see what it looks like in both colors. Let me just, and if you have an adhesive remover, just pull that out instead of using the oils on your skin to remove that adhesive that you just put on there before you decided to do the other. I really, you guys, when I do these things, I kind of just fly by the seat of my pants. And if I think it looks nice, we're going to do it that way. And I think this does look nice. So let's give it a try. Why not, right? And, you know, it is only paper after all, so you can't really go wrong with that. And it is Stampin' Up! Paper, so it is gorgeous, whichever side you decide to use. And if you get bored with doing it one way, this will give you options to do it a different way. The same card, just a different way. Okay, so again, I'm going to take my twine and I'm going to give it that double kind of layered look to it. And bring my bone folder in here and just kind of straighten it out. And then put my Stampin' Seal on the back. And this Stampin' Seal is pretty strong, so you probably don't need all of to go all the way around with it. I'm not sure why I did. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. Depends on my mood. Okay, so then I'm just gonna stick this to the back. And again, Cindy said she would use her Scotch tape for this, and that might be a good way to get it on back there. All right. So I'm going to put a little bit of tape right on my little edges there. And then this is going to go right on my card base. So I'm going to make sure, again, it's opening the right way. And then I'll put this right on top. It looks kind of like a little flag, doesn't it? And especially when you're in class and doing 3, it's kind of nice to have that different. Let me show you what it looks like from the other, with the other papers, which I think is really pretty. But I want to try this because I think this is really pretty too. So I'm going to put a little bit of adhesive on my little bow for my dog. And I think I'll pop him up on some dimensionals. And this is one where you could take the little mini dimensionals and put them right in his little ears if you wanted to. Get every little scrap of them stuck down. Boy, we had some snow here last night, overnight, and woke up and everything was just kind of all snow covered this morning. It was very pretty. Okay, so there's our little doggy there. And I'm going to some cherry cobbler. I did my other words in soft succulent. So I'm going to do these in cherry cobbler. And I have just an ink spot here. I'm using my cherry cobbler pad for a different card. So I had just a little ink spot. I'm going to put that right in the middle of that deckled rectangle die that we cut out. And then I'm going to take my ink pad, and you can do this with a regular ink pad too. I'm just going to lean it against the edge of my card. And the more lean you have to your ink pad, the farther out your ink is going to go onto your card. And I want just a skinny little trim, so it will almost look as if I had put a little 1/8 of an inch of cherry cobbler paper behind it. Okay, and that's going to make it pop just a little smudge more. So you can see how it has the little ink around the edges of it there. Then I'll put some dimensionals on it. Actually, you know what? I'm going to put it down flat. So I'm just going to put some Stampin' Seal on it and kind of tuck it right in here, maybe a little bit under his nose. Okay. And then I'm going to finish it off with another little double bow. Okay, and again, I'm going to use 2 pieces of twine instead of 1. Makes it a little bit harder to tie, but it's still not too bad. You just have to be sure you pull both of those through. There we go. And pull these. I want a pretty small bow because we're going that 4-inch way. So the top of it is only 4 inches. So I do want a smaller bow than what we had on our other card. We're just going to play around with it a bit here. Snip our little tails. And again, I'm going to bring in a glue dot and put it right on the back. And it's going to go right there. Okay, so that's kind of the red side of the paper. And then this one is the green side. Look at how that tail got a little carried away there, didn't it? Wow, Chris. Okay, that looks much better. Oh, and we forgot our little dots on here. So I'm going to use some of these white dots. And here's my take your pick tool. See, this is the problem, you guys. I try and keep myself, I think I'll do just like one right in the middle there. Yeah, I don't like that. This is the problem. I have just a little desk space that I'm working on. And I lose things. They just disappear, right? That's why I need 3 of your take your pick tools out. Okay, so we'll just do 3 kind of right around our little dog. And on this one, I did the gray and did one here, here, and right up there by my bow. Okay. So this one has lots and lots of pieces to it, but I love it. So it was worth it. We're going to use the Sahara sand and our cherry cobbler for this one. Let me put that down. Get myself organized for a minute here. Okay. All right. So let's get our pieces out. And this one has kind of a fun fold to it too. So we're going to use a piece of Sahara sand, and that's going to be our card base. And then this one's going to go on the inside, the outside, a layer on the outside, and a sentiment on the outside. That one's going to go there. This one's going to go here. Let's see if we can turn them over. And that one will go there. And then I think I'll put that one on the inside. Okay, so those are the pieces we're going to use. And let's start off with our card base. So this is 4 1/4 this way and 11 inches this way. And then I scored it, I think at 2 1/4. No, 2 3/4 and 5 1/2. So it's scored here at 2 3/4, and then that one is 5 1/2. And I'm going to bring in our designer series paper, which is 5 1/4 by 4. And I'm going to put that right on the inside of our card. Okay? Just making sure it's straight there. And then this piece, which is 2 1/4, nope, it's 2 1/2 by 4. And that piece is going to go right here. And then the front of our card has another piece that's at 2 1/2 by 4. Okay. And you do, when you come to class, you get a 1/2 pack of paper. So normally, if you're a to-go class, I cut it for you. So it's all cut and scored and ready to go. And then you get what's left in your pack. Okay, so this one I'm going to set aside because that's going to go on the inside of your card. This one, I'm going to use my Cherry Cobbler ink. And I am going to, I'm getting a message on my phone here. Okay, so I'm going to use my Cherry Cobbler ink, and I'm going to ink up my my words here. And because this one is a larger stamp, I'm going to ink it with the rubber side up as opposed to tapping my ink on, or tapping my stamp onto my ink pad. So I'm going to make sure that's nice and straight on there. There we go. Oh, wow. I don't like that at all. This one may need to be re-inked, right? Let's practice down here. Okay, so that one's over here. We'll just flip this little guy over. Let's see, I'm going to practice and see if I can get a feel for where it's going. Okay. Oh my goodness. All right, let's get this going right on here. There. All right. Boy, I missed my L up there. This is really, I'm making it look a lot harder than it is, you guys. Okay, I'm going to try this one more time. And then I'm just going to write my sentiment on there. Okay, there's that. I'm going to be sure I get that L pressed down. Really good. Okay, 3rd time's the charm, huh? There's something sticky on the bottom of this ink pad. It's like sticking to everything. Okay, so let's see. You can't use that vintage look. Ooh, Cindy, I love vintage. But everybody has their own style. Do you think using the ink spots is easier? Yes, I like the ink spots when I have a smaller stamp because then I don't get so much of an edge around it. Oh, I'm glad you like the card. I think it's very pretty. Okay, so let's get back to work here. That's the problem with me, right? Okay, so I'm going to take some Sahara sand, and again, I am going to open up my ink pad, and I'm just going to drag it along these edges, okay? So I'm going to hold my ink pad like that, and my paper like this. And you can see I'm just going to get that nice, even kind of, maybe it's a distressed look there. And then turn it. And this is going to give me color. I used these stitched rectangle dies for this, so you can see they have that nice little stitching to them. And that's going to give you just a little bit of color on there. And now I have that color on my hand. There we go. And I'm going to do that for this one too. So I'm just going to take that top piece and drag it right across there. And it's just going to make your sentiment pop a little bit. Okay, so there's our pieces. I'm going to get rid of a couple of ink pads here. All right, we're going to layer these up. And they're just going to go one on top of the other. They're all cut with the same rectangle layering dies. So it's kind of a perfect little mat around the edges without any measuring or anything like that. So put this right on top of here. Very cool, right? Okay. Now, this little piece is going to go on the inside. So this is going to be the piece that we're going to write on, okay? So I'm going to put my Stampin' Seal on it, and I'm going to put that on there. I'm going to hold it up so I'm not putting pressure on it, and I can easily move this piece around. And I think that looks about centered to me. So I'm going to go ahead and press it down. Now this one, I don't want to put adhesive on the whole thing. I want it to just cover that up. But if I put adhesive on it, it's going to close it. So I'm going to put my Stampin' Seal just at my left edge here and at the front edge here. Okay. And then I'm going to put this piece back on there. Make sure it's centered. And there we go. Okay. And then we're going to make another double bow. Who guessed that, right? I'm sure somebody guessed that right off, that we were going to put a double bow in here. And again, I'm just going to straighten that twine out a bit. Fold it in half. So every card in this class got some of the dots and some of the twine on them. And that gives you an opportunity to play with all of the products that you got in your kit and to see how you can use them differently. We're going to actually, on one of the other cards, we're going to be coloring this this twine. Okay, so I want to make this bow so it's the same size or kind of complementary to the sentiment, because that's where we're going to put it. Boy, I pulled that really hard when I cut it, so let me pull that out, and then I'm just going to play with that for a minute and get it where I want those tails. And again, a glue dot. There we go. And the corner of our card there, the corner of that little piece. Okay, so your card's going to open like that, and you'll have your sentiment right there. How pretty is that? kind of fancy looking. I like a fun fold. In fact, I'm going to be starting to do a Friday fun folds class. So I'll pop on Facebook on Fridays and share a fun fold card with you. This one is from our, let's see, I have Evergreen here. I thought I got the Evergreen ink out, but I'll use this little spot. Okay, so this one, we're using the new ovals from the Fitting Florets stamp set, which you can just order this month. It's an exclusive this month, and you can get the paper, a winter stamp set, Christmas words, and some gold little designs, but I think the gold designs are, I know the gold designs are already sold out. But the stamp set, the Fitting Florets stamp set, and dies are going to be in the new catalog. So you'll get these little great layering dies. Very, very cool. So Sahara Sand, 5.5 by 8.5, scored on the 8.5 inch side at 4 1/4. Let me just pop on here. I try to get your comments as they're coming through. So, oh, Cindy. Laura, this is last year's celebration paper, Laura, and we had tons of it left, so it was a free gift to my class, for my Christmas Club class. So that was a free gift that they got, and it was one of my favorite papers last year. So I thought, I'm gonna bring it back. We also did these cards with the Merry Moments, the paper in the candy cane one. Let's see what it's called. So it gives them an option, and you have lots of different ideas with different papers. So this is the paper that they also did, Painted Christmas. So the same kinds of greens and reds, and yeah, so lots of, and when you're in my clubs, you always get a little freebie gift from me, and I like to show you how to use it. So we did it with the other pack of paper, and then we had samples with this pack of paper too. So I'm going to use the Evening Evergreen, and I'm just going to take my little ink spot and ink it up. Here we go. I'm going to put my sentiment right in the middle there. Okay. And we'll get that out of here. And this. And I'm going to put these up on dimensionals. It's easiest for me to put the outside part up first. So I'm going to use these little mini dimensionals that I told you about, right? Look how tiny they are. They are the perfect size to put right there to hold this on with. So I'm going to, and again, you guys know, dimensionals are super inexpensive, so I'm going to use lots of them so that my oval frame doesn't sink down into my card. And these are fun too, the little tiny ones. I like those. And Laura, you're probably back in Indy by now, my friend. I hope you guys have some good weather there. Usually the weather you have, we get the next day, so. Okay. To the top of that one. I think I can squeeze one more on here. There we go. And this point's going to stand right up in there. Okay, so our dimensionals, of course, you guys, they are two-sided sticky. So when you peel them off, their backing, they stick to your project. And then you peel the outside backing off, and they're going to stick to your base. I think I got them all. And I'm going to put this up and to the left just a little bit. Of course, I'm making sure that my card is opening in the right spot. Okay, and I'm going to put some real dimensionals on here. You know what? I'm going to put some designs down there. So I'm going to turn that over and stamp on the back of it. Oh, there it is. I put my evening evergreen pad out here. I want to put some little dots down here, so I'm going to stamp it up towards the top and use the back of it. And I never flip out about using the back of my paper or anything like that. It's no stress, you guys. So, and it doesn't have to be perfect. I am becoming not a perfectionist. I was a used to be perfectionist, maybe. Is that how you say that? Okay, so let's put some big dimensionals on here. Crafting is kind of the soothing part of my day and the way that I relax. And so I try not to get stressed about every little detail of it. I used to be able to play the bow for an hour before I got it the way I wanted it and start over and over. And I think bows have their own personality. So if your bow wants to, little tail wants to stick straight up or curve, you let it do what it wants, like your hair, right? My hair gets to a certain length and it just flips up at the end. So I don't stand there and dry it for 5 hours trying to get it to go down, because when I'm done, it's still gonna flip up at the end. Sometimes things just have a mind of their own. Again, a double bow with our twine here. I'm gonna show you the next card. I'm gonna do something different with my twine, so you have a different idea and you're not bored of watching the double bow being tied, right? Okay. And it's probably maybe a trick you already know, but it's a trick that I absolutely love. And I saw them doing it on stage this weekend and thought, oh, somebody took the same idea I had for that little trick. Okay. There we go. We got a little bit long today just because there were so many things going on. And you guys, the twine and the little black matte dots, those are all on sale today too. So be sure you check out that sale. You don't want to miss it. I know with the holidays coming up, it's a great time to buy gifts, and I kind of like to buy my own stocking stuffers. So I have some things that I purchased that will be going in my stocking for my Christmas this year, my Christmas enjoyment. Okay, so I'm going to take, I think I'll do vanilla. I did vanilla on the last one, and I kind of liked the way it looked, so I think I'm going to stick with it. I'm going to go with the medium one right in the middle here, and then 2 tiny ones on either side. Okay, how's that? Quick and easy, right? Got that nice double bow. I think it's so pretty. All right, so the last one is not even a Christmas set, but we're gonna use it like a Christmas set. Hi, Jacqueline. I did not show my new goodies. I am going to show my new goodies, but I'm going to do it on another video. This video is kind of long, so already doing 5 cards. So I will do another video tonight and show all of my goodies from on stage. We got some designer series paper. We got some stamp sets. We just had a wonderful time, and I will share them with you guys. You got reformed, Laura, let's see. All right. Lots of comments on here, and I'll catch up to you after the video if I don't catch up with you while I'm on it. So feel free to drop your questions here for me. So we have some cherry cobbler paper. It's 5.5 by 8.5. A designer series piece of paper, 5.25 by 4. Ooh, some die cut on some garden green, and 2 squares And we have a little piece of paper for the inside. And then we have this die cut piece. Okay, I think those are all the pieces we're going to need. We'll put these back in here. This is a split frame die. If you guys haven't seen it in the catalog, it is so cool. I just love it. I use that a lot, especially in my clubs. So this is our card base, 5.5 by 8.5, scored at 4 1/4, and we're just gonna burnish that score line there. And then I'm gonna take my designer series paper and put a little bit of Stampin' Seal on it. Center that in the middle. And then I'm going to, I'm going to stamp this first. And it's going to get a garden green Merry Christmas on it. These are kind of more traditional Christmas colors with the red and the green, which I really like. I'm going to stamp this on my script paper just to make sure it's going to be straight, inked up really nice. I'm going to put it right there. Okay. And this is a class, you guys, that if you order $35 on my website at rubberroom.stampinup.net, especially today or tomorrow while things are on sale, I will send you card kits to make all 5 of these cards. And your card kits will be basically just what you saw me opening up today. Okay, I'm going to go back and put this on the inside of my card. And again, it is 5 1/4 by 4. I'm going to put that inside so I don't forget that that's going inside. Oh, this one I guess is cut at 5 by 4 3/4. Okay. And then I am going to glue this. So I'm going to take some of my green glue and put it right around the edges here. My green glue is the most finicky tool that I use. Sometimes it plays nice and sometimes it doesn't. And I'm just going to put little dabs along the top edge and the bottom edge, right where my die is. So between my die cut and the edge of my paper, I'm going to put the green glue. Green glue is often not my friend. I tend to get green glue everywhere. I did hear a tip this weekend, though, that rubbing alcohol will take it off. So I may try that because I get so sticky. The whole world could stick to me after I've had an encounter with it. So I'm just going to put that right on top of my designer series paper. I'm going to stand up to do this. Is that the... Oh. I got that on there really crooked, so there we go. I am going to stand up and put it on because it will work much easier for me that way. There we go. Okay, now we have these stamps, and this isn't even a Christmas stamp set, but it's so gorgeous, right? So I'm going to stamp my ferns in the garden green. And this is a distinctive stamp set, which if you guys know me, know that is my favorite kind of stamp set because you get all of those great lines in there. It has this really gorgeous 3D look to it, and you don't even have to work for it. I mean, all I did was just stamp it on there. So if you see a stamp set in the catalog that says distinctive, think of me when you see it because I love them. And I know you guys like them too because I sell a lot of them. So I'm going to put these, I just inked open up my ink pad and then put it in the wrong ink pad. Welcome to my world, you guys. Anything can happen on a Chris Kelly video, right? let's get some stamp cleaner here. You never know what you're going to get here, but it's always going to be nutty, that's for sure. Okay, that's kind of how it goes when you leave me unscripted. Now I'm going to put my berries in my cherry cobbler, and I'm going to stamp those on this piece of paper. And again, look how cool that is. Isn't that amazing? I just love it. You can put a little wink of Stella on there for some color. Just gorgeous. And this is one of those stamp sets that I am so thankful there are dies that coordinate with it, because that would be a fancy cut I really would not be interested in doing. So let's get our dies in here. And getting a little messy here, but I'm going to take, before I cut these out, in fact, I'll put them right over here on top of my machine. And before I cut these out, I'm going to share with you that little trick I was talking about with your twine. So we're going to unroll the last of my twine. Actually, I'm going to leave it on there. I'm going to bring in my bone folder and straighten it out. And then I'm going to bring in my blend. And I'm going to keep my blend flat. I can see some gals at class didn't keep it flat. But if you keep it flat like this, you're going to have a nice pointy tip to your blend still. And a lot of people want to do this with it. And that's going to turn your tip so it's like this instead of at a really nice point. So let's see if I can still get it. We're just going to color that twine with our garden green. And you can use any color you want. So when you buy this twine, it's going to have that nice natural kind of crumb cake craft look to it. And you can color it any color you want. So you don't have to have a color in the exact color you're doing your cards. You can kind of make your own ribbon and twine. White ribbon, you can color this way. We do have some craft ribbon, some real thick ribbon that you can color like this. And I'm going to actually leave it for just a few minutes while we do our die cuts so that it can dry a little bit. This is kind of messy. Well, you can see it, my scrap paper. I'm kind of a mess anyways, right? I've stamped off and made things straight and all kinds of good stuff this morning. And I'm just going to make sure I get it all nice and colored. And your blends come in a 2-pack. So you get a light one and a dark one. And they're $9 for both of them. And they do have that nice pointy tip that this one doesn't, but that's okay. This becomes a granddaughter marker after today. She'll be excited. She has her own blend, right? And then you have this other end, which is the nib end. And when I'm coloring, I tend to use that nib end a little bit more than otherwise. So it gets you in those kind of small spaces better. Okay, so let's set that aside to dry. I'm going to bring in my little mini emboss, cut and emboss machine. If you guys don't have one of these, you definitely need one. In fact, this is going to be part of our starter kit special during celebration. So we're going to put these 2 little pieces of scrap paper on here. And this was the only die cutting they had to do during class. So that was kind of good. When you go in here, you're going to want to be at a little bit of a beveled edge to get it through the machine. So let's put this on. And I get that right on top of it there. I'm going to use a little bit of, I don't have my Post-it tape here, so actually I'll use a little Post-it note. I do have one of those here. And I think I can get both of them on here the same time. I'm all about being efficient. So let's see if that will work. Yep. Okay, so just gonna line that die up right over my image. And I'm gonna pop my Post-it note on top and then give it another clear plate. So I have my base plate and then 2 number 1 plates going into my machine. I just hold the top so it gets a little bit of extra stability with it when it's going through. Okay. And then I'm going to bring in my other piece here, and I'm going to do the same thing and hope I have left enough room to do a little, I call this a ride along. So my berries get to ride along with my fern, and I put them both through at once, so I have half as much work to do when I cut to it, get a little 2-in-1, a little twofer with my ride along. So our base plate, got a little sticky there, and these clear plates are number 2s. Our base is number 1, and then the clear plates are number 2s. And again, I have them at that little kind of beveled angle there. And we're gonna put them through. Oh boy. And of course my handle came off there. Let's see if I can get it back on. Well, it's not gonna go through until I get it back on. So you guys get to watch a little surgery being performed. This could be like the longest video in the history of sharing a card with you, right? So I'm just gonna pop that out. There's a little, see if you can see that. There's a little screw in there. So I'm gonna grab my little tools here, and we'll get it put back together and be on the road again. Okay, so let's put you back on here. And this comes off just with use. My machines get a ton of use. So I probably every 6 months or so have to put one back on. But I'm just gonna tip it upside down here. And choose my little Phillips head screwdriver. And we should be ready to rock and roll. Okay, there we go. A little bit of repair work. Let's get you back in the camera view here. And we'll finish cranking it through here. And I'm going to put this right over top of that again so I don't lose it. Okay. Get my little tools out of the way. Quite the show here this morning for you guys. All right. And let's get our die cuts out. Put those back in the basket so I don't lose them. Okay. Get rid of these. Okay, and I'm going to cut this up. This is just a big fern. And I'm going to use these sprigs from it. So I'm just going to cut them up. And oh, there we go. And this way. So now I have like 3 of them there that we're going to use. Okay. And I'm actually going to bring in a little marker again. And I'm going to color 3 of these. And these are the white matte dots. So again, anything that's white or vanilla, you can use your blends to color it. It gives you a lot a lot of versatility to the white or the clear. So your basic rhinestones can get colored. Your pearls can get colored. All kinds of good things. Okay, so let's build this. Our little flowers. And I'm going to use our little flowers. Our little berries and leaves. And I'm going to build them with the glue dots. And then attach them with my Stampin' Seal. So I'm going to build them while they are not on my card. And they're going to be built one on top of the other. I guess I missed that glue dot there, didn't I? Okay. So I'm just placing them right on my glue dots. And then I'm going to take them off. I want my ferns to be my starting point. So I'm going to put this kind of leafy part behind it up here. And then I'm going to put my berries on top of it. And this you can do however you like. It doesn't have to be exactly like this. You might want more green showing or more red showing, more that cobbler. So you can build it however you want to build it. I'm going to stick one of these in the back here. And then come in with this. And you might want a taller piece. You might want a more rounded piece. And I'm going to put my berries on just under there. And bring this one in. Oops, I don't want to do that, but that'll give me 2 spots. Okay, now I have glue dots on me. All right, one more glue dot here. Let's go here. And that one I'm going to put right in there. Okay, so that's going to be what my little piece looks like. And I'm going to put some Stampin' Seal on the back of it. And again, if this is easier for you to make this piece by laying it on your card, by all means, do that. I know Jackie likes to layer stuff by tucking it in behind here and behind there. And if that's what works for you, then do it that way. Because I am what? Your no stress girl, right? So we're going to put this on like this. And then I'm going to bring in that green ribbon. And we're going to do the same thing. And you'll notice this has some stripes of the white or the crumb cake craft kind of look to it, that natural twine look. And we're going to do again that double bow. I think that striped look has kind of an ombre feel to it. So I'm not sad that it's in there. I think I like it that way. So and there we go. And this one I'm going to make a little bit bigger because I have a bigger focal point on my card that I'm going to put it on. So I'm going to make it just a little bit bigger. And I do that just by my thumb and forefinger on the knot in the middle of the bow and then pull the tails. And it'll pull them at the same time. Okay, and then I'm just going to trim them off down here. And again, they get a glue dot. And I'm going to put it right here. And if you want, you can cut these pieces off down here. They don't bother me, but if they bother you, you can take them right off. Okay, I think I'll pull that one. Actually, I'll cut these little stems all the way up there without cutting my bow. How about that? Let's see if I can do it. I know I can. There we go. Get rid of that. And pull our bow down. Okay? So that's going to be your Christmas card with the non-Christmas stamp set. So here we go. We have this one. And this one. Oh, wait, we got to put those little cute green gems on there. We colored them up. So let's put them on there. I'm going to put one here. And up here. And we'll do Jackie's trick and just kind of chuck it right under there. Okay? There we go. How's that? So remember, $15 or $35 minimum order, and I will send you card kits for all 5 of these cards that we did today. And don't forget the special going on right now and the catalog launch coming up on January 14th. And let me just pop back in there and see if you guys have any questions before I sign off here. This one got a little bit long. I'm sorry about that, Marjorie. It's supposed to be love, not live. Oh, of course it is. You love that card. You can live that card if you want. Hi, Marielle. It's good to see you on here. Thanks for tuning in today, you guys. I really, really appreciate it. And I will be back probably tomorrow morning to share with you all the goodies that we got at On Stage. I can't wait. Have a great rest of the day. Bye-bye.